Ladies and gentlemen, we're without a win in 3 at Old Trafford. It's a game of two halves. I mean, I know you're going to be hearing me say that because it's obviously cliche, but it was a game of two halves, and a game where we didn't take our chances. That's how I'd sum up, really. But as always, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Please do. Really do appreciate it. Also, I haven't been streaming recently. That's because as I said, I've been doing some, work for university and stuff. So I haven't been able to really, get on that train. But I'm kind of seeing the end of the tunnel, really. I'm seeing the end. We're getting close to the end of all that. So hopefully, I'll be able to bring you more content very, very soon. But we're here, and unfortunately, even though it was great to see the fans back in the ground, 10,000 Man United fans back in the ground, it was amazing to see, amazing to actually hear the fans and hear all the chanting, all the jeering, all that sort of thing. It was just so good to kind of get a bit of normality back. They didn't get really what they paid for, I don't think. I know the Cavani goal was, unbelievable. The lob over Areola, what a goal to come back to. I'm not going to lie to you, it was a fantastic goal. But the overall performance really, didn't deserve those fans really. The other way around. The fans didn't deserve that. What am I trying to say? The fans being back in the ground deserved a better performance than what they got. That's what I meant. And unfortunately, fair play to Fulham. They dug in there. They defended well. We didn't take a lot of our chances. I'm going to say that. We didn't really take our chances when we got them. Greenwood missed a few. We weren't clinical enough. Simple as that. That's what I'd say. We weren't clinical enough. I think we were the better side, probably for 60, 70 minutes of that game. But actually, once Fulham scored, they probably had the best passage to play until the end of the game. We didn't really create much after Fulham scored the goal. So I don't know what it is. And as I said in the title, it looks like we're just stumbling to the finish line. Really, it looks like the players have got their minds firmly set on that Europa League final. They don't care about the Premier League. They know we've got Champions League. They don't care anymore. And I mean, in some ways, fair enough. But I just feel like especially with the fans coming back, especially with the fact that we can finish second. Surely you want to finish the season well. Surely you want to build that sort of momentum. But it just looked like towards the end there that we didn't seem arsed, to be fair. And even though there was fans in the ground, we still just didn't look arsed at all. Which is frustrating, really, because obviously you want to build that momentum, you want to build that feel-good factor before you go into a final, but hopefully the players know what they're doing, because it wasn't brilliant tonight, it really wasn't. Box, thanks for joining as well, appreciate it, hope you're doing well. He says it was a tough watch. That second half especially, I think the first half was alright, because you had the kind of novelty of the listening to the fans and Cavani's goal and stuff, but the second half it really did start, and it just kind of ended up cultivating in a poor performance and a poor result really in that second half. But the first half actually wasn't too bad, but yeah, the second half definitely was. Box laying in here says poor performance from Ole, poor performance from the players, and poor performance from the fans. Well, that's a hat-trick. Matthew joins as well. He says midfield dreadful again. I actually thought, to be fair, McTominay in the first half wasn't too bad. I actually thought he did well in the first half. Second half, I don't think there was many players that actually did too well. But, in the first half, I actually thought we weren't too bad. I thought that, if we actually took our chances, then we could have been 2 or 3-0 up at half time. And then obviously that completely changed the game. But we just didn't take our chance today. That's the main thing for me. And obviously we've seen before in these big games where we failed to take chances. This wasn't really a big game. But you look at the Europa League final or something like that. That is a big game where you need to be on form. You need to be on, good goal-scoring form. And recently, even though we have managed to score 4 goals in our last 3 games, which isn't the worst, it's not the best, but isn't the worst. It's kind of just average. The fact that we haven't won in our last 3 games at Old Trafford, in our last 3 Premier League games, never mind at Old Trafford, is a bit concerning. And I think actually the last time we won a game was the Fulham game. I'm pretty sure the Roma game, first leg at Old Trafford. I think that was the last time we actually won a game, which is a bit concerning. It's a little bit concerning, that's what I'm going to say. As Matthew says here, form ahead of the final is rather concerning. I think so. Box says Pogba's been poor in the last few games now. I don't think he was that bad today. I don't think he was that bad. I don't think he was, amazing. I think he could have done better. I think there were times where he lost the ball today. But actually, overall, I don't think he was the reason we didn't win that game. That's all I'm going to say. Box says, Rashford came on and lost the ball like he always does. Yeah, Rashford didn't offer too much. And I think I have seen that trend recently where he hasn't been starting. But, when he comes off the bench, he doesn't really add much off the bench. And you just think that, a player that's got those sort of injuries, there's no point risking him if he's not going to do that he's not going to have that sort of impact, and recently he hasn't had that impact. I still think he's better off that left-hand side. He looked kind of lively in parts, but he just never had any sort of end product, unfortunately, so... But yeah, Rashford obviously has been a very important part of this season. The numbers he's put up have been very, very impressive. But we need him to kind of kick on now in these last few games. We really need every single player to step up, because to win a trophy, you can't just have one or two players in form. Cavani's obviously in great goal-scoring form right now, but we're not going to win the Europa League with Cavani as our one player in form and everyone else performing shit. We're not going to win. We're not going to win anything. Matthew says, McTominay did well today, my arse. He was dreadful. I thought in the first half he actually did alright. I thought he did alright in the first half, but that's on you, mate. That's on you. Box says, defenders looking sloppy minus Maguire. Yeah, I think, that's something which I've been saying. That a lot of people have come on here and slated Harry Maguire, said he's, not good enough, we need to sell him. But I think, again, today we've seen the difference it makes when he's not in that team. And I think... it's similar to the Van Dijk effect. I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good as Virgil van Dijk, but he does have that sort of impact on our team where when he's in that team he provides that calming influence, but he also allows people further forward to take more risks and do more, because yes, obviously he's got a mistake in him, but who in our back line doesn't? You see Aaron Wan-Bissaka today, for their goal it was two errors really. One for not pushing up enough. He kept the guy, I think. What's his name? Decordova Reed onside, and then the other one was the fact that it was his man at the back post. So Wan-Bissaka has had a bit of a mare defensively, and I'm not convinced by Lindelof and Tuanzebe. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not convinced. I don't think that they're the worst centre-back pairing, but I'm not convinced by them. I'm really not convinced by them. Matthew says, feel like shit, just want Maguire back. Yeah, I know. I mean, who thought that after all the stick he was getting, who thought after, all the stick, all the kind of people saying he needs to be sold, saying he was, the biggest flop of the transfer, whatever people are saying, imagine now sitting here at the end of the season saying that we need Harry Maguire in this team. But there you go, it's funny how things going to come back around like that. It's funny how things come back around. Box says, perfect time to start Donny van der Beek and Ahmad. They've barely been used. Was the perfect game for them today. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm surprised that that didn't happen, especially against a Fulham team, which realistically we shouldn't be too worried about. I don't know why we're playing McTominay and Fred. My only potential get out for Solskjaer there is the fact that he's looking to give the players that he's going to start in the Europa League final some minutes and make sure that they continue to play games week in, week out. And I understand that. I do understand that, but realistically, I still think that there's certain players which need to get game time. For me, Van der Beek should have been playing, as you said, Box. I think obviously you mentioned Amad Diallo. I think it wouldn't have hurt to start those players. It wouldn't have hurt to start those players. Owen, thanks for joining. Says we can't play well when we have possession. This is the sort of thing that we've been saying for seasons, not just this season, but pretty well ever since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took charge. The one thing that we have struggled with is when a team just sits there and lets us have the ball. We do struggle to break teams down. We're very clinical on the counter-attack, and we always do, create. We created, a few chances on the counter-attack a day. Greenwood was played through on goal and, didn't take his chance. I think Cavani played a really good ball through to him. So we do create chances on the counter-attack. That's how we mainly create our big chances. But, realistically, we do need to get better at dominating the game, having our foot on the ball and creating chances. And you would think that with Fernandes and Pogba in that midfield, we would be able to break down the likes of Fulham, because defensively this season, they haven't been all that great. If they're going down, they can't have been all that great. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Connor, thanks for joining as well. Says, no matter what, we must stay united against the Glazers. Complain about everything from the players to results to the manager, but it all goes back to the fucking rat Glazers. I agree, mate. I agree. Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, I know those people with the banners inside the stadium and stuff, and I salute you guys for keeping that message alive. Obviously, there was no kind of real violent protest like there was before, but obviously the message is clear. The message is still clear. It doesn't matter, whether we win or lose or what. The message is still clear. The message is still absolutely clear. Owen says, glad Owen's here. Finally get to hear his comments on the Dino Dezata class last Thursday. Oh, of course, yeah. Well, that'll be interesting to hear what he has to say on that. Matthew says, was concerned that our record of being unbeaten at Old Trafford at half-time is going to vanish. I didn't even think about that. I didn't actually think about that. But yeah, that would have been a sad moment. That would have been a sad moment, actually. I'm just waiting for our away record to go against Wolves, where we just play a weakened team and we lose our away record, because we're only a few wins away from that Arsenal Invincibles record. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that record. Wolves aren't doing too bad towards the end of the season, so it's going to be an interesting game. And also, depending on what happens in this Chelsea-Leicester game, we haven't actually secured top four. We haven't secured second place yet. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, realistically, is there any difference between finishing second and finishing fourth? Apart from the obvious, I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? In the end of the day, you finish inside the top four. You didn't finish first. That's the sort of mentality we've got to have. In the end of the day, we didn't finish first, and that's all that matters. Owen said it was bad from Hendo, but it was David De Gea. You wouldn't be complaining about what the defence was doing. Oh, sorry, it was bad from Hendo, but if it was David De Gea, you'd be complaining about what the defence was doing. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved in that. Box says the players and managers are not above criticism. They are not minimum wage people treated badly. Exactly. No, I agree. Obviously, you can like criticize the team. I mean, obviously, you can do all those things at the same time. It's that things aren't mutually exclusive, but at the same time, we've got to remember the core message. Matthew says Dino couldn't catch a fecking cold. I'd rather someone who stays back for crosses than someone who comes and never gets there. Yeah, exactly. To be fair, I don't think it's fair. Henderson gets too much hate. I mean, yeah, he didn't have a great game against Liverpool, but to be fair, apart from that game, I can't remember too many more bad performances from him. Apart from obviously the Sheffield United game where he made that mistake, but he made up for it in the end with a great save. So, I think getting on Henderson's back just after one poor performance is a bit harsh, but that's the nature of our fan base, really. Rich, how you doing? Thanks for joining, Rich. Appreciate it. Make sure to check out his channel as well. Great stuff over there on Rich Sports. I'm sure he'll be doing some sort of match reaction for this as well, so make sure you check that out when it comes out. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I was wanting to kind of talk about the man of the match and talk about also the fact that Bruno Fernandes was named Player of the Year, and also Luke Shaw was named Players Player of the Year. So those are the two awards that were handed out today by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before the game, and I think, to be fair, you can't argue with them. You can't argue too much with the choices. I think those are the two guys that everyone was saying were going to win those awards or should win those awards. So you can't argue too much with those. You can't argue with too much. With those choices, I think. Matthew says, I just think we should be consistent in the judgment of our goalkeepers, that's all. I think that's a fair comment. Box says his team against Wolves is Henderson, Williams, Fish, Tuanzebe, Telles, Van der Beek, Medjbury, Mata, Ahmad, Alanga, James, bring on Shoretira, Galbraith and Hugill. I'd tell you what, it would make the game a lot more interesting. It would make the game a lot more interesting if we saw those guys. It really would. But yeah, no, that sounds good to me. Owen says, contrary to popular belief, I don't believe Byron was Wan-Bissaka's man. It was Fred's man, but as we already know, he's useless. I mean, if you look at the still image, the two errors leading up to that goal, in my view, were that Wan-Bissaka kept the guy on side. In fact, three errors. Wan-Bissaka kept the guy on side, and then I think it must have been Luke Shaw there who kind of didn't stop the cross, and then obviously Bryan was free at the back post. So there's three kind of errors there leading up to that goal. So I have to say, it was Wan-Bissaka's man. You can't say fairer than that, mate. You can't say fairer than that. In my opinion, I don't see who else's man it could have been. I know maybe Fred should have tracked him running from deep, but as a fullback, your job is to guard that back post. You should be there at the back post, and the amount of times this season we've been caught out from crosses to the back post, it has been just scary, really. And once again, we've conceded from a cross. I want to see that stat. I've been saying this for time. I want to see that stat of how many goals we conceded this season, not just from corners or set pieces, but from just crosses into the box, because I bet a huge proportion of our goals have been conceded like that. A massive proportion, I'm sure. Owen says, "Nah, I haven't turned rich. I can justify the positioning for the fourth goal." Yeah. I think that positioning from Henderson for the fourth goal. Yeah, I mean it was almost comical, to be fair. He may as well just had a massive arrow saying, slot the ball home, Mo. Slot the ball home. Finish the game. Rich says, "Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be picking up someone though." Yep, agree. Totally agree. And he also says it was really poor. I agree. Made it simple. Tap in for Salah. Owen says, "What? Haha, there's two other men. If you look at the picture, mate, is he meant to mark three people at once?" Well, no. But if you look, Bryan just strolls in at the back post, and as the right back, that's his position. That's his area. I just think Wan-Bissaka should have done better there. Maybe I'm wrong. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. And I actually thought his overall game wasn't too bad, but on that instance, he played the guy on side. If he stepped up literally like a few inches further, then the goal would have been ruled out anyway. So, we've seen this before. We have seen this before. Fred also says, "Freddie McSarney were the two brighter players tonight, but never needed two DMs today. Could have been 3-0 up with more attacking lineup." I think that's a fair point. It's a fair point. Fair comment. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason it's just perspective. Yeah, it's just perspective. If I can actually move it back, there you go. Look at that. There you go. Just it's a bit of an illusion on my part. Why not? Why not on this? Just a fantastic Tuesday evening. Well, the result's not fantastic, but it's good because I'm back talking to you guys, and it's been a little while. It's been a week or so since I've been able to talk to you guys and talk about football. And I was looking forward to a comprehensive win to talk about, but unfortunately, we didn't get that luxury. But obviously, we've got our place in the Premier League assured. I'm going to look at the Premier League table actually, because I don't actually know basically I don't know what result is needed for us to kind of secure second place without even having to play. So Leicester are currently 4 points behind us. So yeah, if Chelsea beat Leicester, then yeah, I think yeah. So actually, well, no, I think so. Basically, we can't actually secure second place after the day. We can all but secure it, but we can't fully secure it mathematically, because I think if Leicester win, then obviously that closes the gap to 1 point. If Chelsea win, that still closes the gap to 3 points. So they could technically overtake us, but our goal difference is superior to theirs. And a draw would mean that Leicester would go 3 points closer. So yeah, we can't actually secure second place until the final game of the season. But I think realistically we've got it wrapped up. I think realistically we shouldn't be too worried about securing second place at this point. I think we're fine on that point. I think we are fine on that front. But mathematically we just can't guarantee it until that final game of the season. Which is annoying, because it would have been nice to get that in the bag and then we could have fully rotated our team against Wolves. But arguably we can't do that now. Box says Fulham's time wasting. Well, I mean, they got a point, and to be fair, they deserved the point. Overall, they were the better team in the second half. They fully deserved the point. Rich says, at least we have a final to look forward to. Exactly. That's what we've got to focus on now. I think the players may as well already be in Gdansk. The players may as well already be in Poland. I mean, yeah, that's just my view. Matthew says, open a can of good stuff when they said it was Lee Mason's final game. Yeah, but it's obviously he said he was going to be in the VAR, so now he's a permanent member of Stockley Park. So we'll see how that goes down. He also says, how can you book the goalkeeper for time wasting and not add on any time? Yeah, exactly. I think he was just done. I think he just wanted to get out of there. I think he just knew it was his final game. I'm just gonna just get out of there while I can. Done and dusted. Boxall says, I think it was the most angry at a ref I was all season. Well, exactly, and also the fact that in the last few minutes when we were attacking, we had the ball close to their box. He didn't add on any time, and also the fact that we could have potentially created a chance there, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Yeah, we did cover the Cavani wonder goal. It was a fantastic goal. The audacity to do that. from that range, and it was actually pretty similar to the McTominay goal. Obviously, the McTominay one, there was no goalkeeper in the goal, so it wasn't as impressive, but it was actually very similar. It's kind of funny how that symmetry worked, but what a goal to come back to. What a goal. I mean, I'm so jealous of those fans that got to see it live. So jealous that the fans got to see it live. And Box says Cavani goal should have won the goal of the season instead of Bruno's. Well, this is the thing, exactly. Like, they did the goal of the season panel a week early. Unfortunately, Cavani's not going to get in there, but that goal would have got goal of the season, I reckon. If they'd done the voting next week, that would have definitely won it, 100%. But the last few comments, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Only a short stream because there's not really too much to talk about, and it's not really that. I mean, obviously, it was there's a few talking points, but I mean, realistically, the Premier League, there's not much to talk about in terms of Premier League anymore. I mean, it's just about getting minutes in the legs, just about trying to get some sort of momentum going, even though the players are not exactly doing the best at getting momentum. But that's what we need to do. That's all we've got to focus on in these Premier League games. And I guess we can just sit back and watch the rest of the Premier League sweat over their positions. And Ritual says that Cavani has scored some really good goals this season. He has. And actually, I didn't realise he scored 10 Premier League goals. And I think that's 4 more than Timo Werner. And we got Cavani on a free. Timo Werner cost Chelsea about 60 million quid. So, you can't deny he's had an impact. And I think his impact has come especially in this second half of the season. And that's why I think if we have Cavani in that final, there's always a chance of nicking a goal. There's always a chance of, even if we're on the back foot, Cavani will get us a goal because he's in that sort of form right now. And I'm hoping he doesn't get injured. In fact, I might not even play him in that Wolves game. I might not even play him. Maybe give him a few minutes, but I might not even play him. But anyway, I think it's a good time to end it. As I said, it's only going to be live for a short period of time. But thank you for everyone for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you have, or have you haven't already, please hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, if you're watching on the replay, leave your thoughts in the comments. Please do. I want to hear what you guys have to say. But until then, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one, wherever that is. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.